Well, you just out here fucking acting brazy. Your whole day consists of being crazy. And you don't give a fuck. Cause you crazy. When you crazy, you don't give a fuck. When you crazy. When you crazy, why should you give a fuck? Starting my fucking channel, I don't give a fuck. Why should you give a fuck? When you crazy, why should you give a fuck? Let me ask you a question, OG. When you crazy, why should you give a fuck?
Exactly.
Huh? We ain't getting no check, so when you crazy, why should you give a fuck?
Exactly.
Okay. Excuse me, let me ask you a question. When you crazy, why should you give a fuck?
Right, that's right.
When you crazy, why should you give a fuck? Let me ask you a question. When you crazy, why should you give a fuck? You shouldn't, cause you crazy. Fuck you talking about? When you crazy, you shouldn't get no fuck. In real life, this shit just real. I don't give a fuck. Excuse me, sir. When you crazy, why should you give a fuck? Why should you give a fuck when you crazy? You shouldn't?
No.
Excuse me, ma'am. When you crazy, why should you give a fuck? You shouldn't. You shouldn't get no fuck when you crazy. I'm fucking crazy. I'm crazy. I don't give a fuck. I got all the money in the world. I'm crazy. You shouldn't give a fuck when you crazy. Why should you give a fuck? This shit real. I don't care. I'm crazy. I want this right here. Why? Because I don't give a fuck. Give me this shit. Because I don't fucking care. When you don't care, this is what happened. When you don't fucking care, I don't care. I'm in here. They know I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. This like when you crazy and you don't get no fuck, then you sit it right here. Because when you crazy, you don't give a fuck. Excuse me, sir. When you crazy, why should you give a fuck?
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't?
No.
Shouldn't. YouTube, you shouldn't. When you crazy, why should you give a fuck? I'm famous. I'm a real famous guy. You shouldn't. These look nice. I want one of these. Why? Because I'm crazy. So when you're crazy, why should you give a fuck? You shouldn't give a fuck. That's when you're crazy. And then guess what? You sit it right here. That's because you crazy. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And then I grab this. Excuse me, sir. Yeah. When you crazy, why should you give a fuck? You shouldn't? Or
What?
when you crazy, why should you give a fuck?
I guess you shouldn't.
You shouldn't?
Yeah.
Because you crazy, right?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. I told y'all I wasn't lying. Like, I'm famous. When you crazy, you shouldn't give a fuck. Y'all see the results. Everybody saying you shouldn't. If you crazy, you shouldn't get no. Let me ask these people. Excuse me, sir.
What's up?
When you crazy, why should you give a fuck?
Man, you shouldn't give a fuck.
You shouldn't give a fuck. Everybody fucking saying it. Excuse me, man. When you crazy, why should you give a fuck? You fuck me, I'm getting paid for this. I'm famous in real life. So when you crazy, you shouldn't give a fuck? Okay. Thank you, because you shouldn't give a fuck. On some real shit. I don't give a fuck. In real life, I don't give a fuck. So I do this. Because I don't give a fuck. I'm finna buy this. This is my channel. So when you crazy, why should you give a fuck? When you crazy? I just want to know. Should you? Should you? She mad as hell. She like, get me the fuck off of your camera. I don't give a fuck. I'm crazy. That's when you crazy. Why should you care? You shouldn't. Why? Because I don't give a fuck. And I'm not finna buy this. I'm not finna fucking buy this. I'm broke as a bitch. So guess what I do? It just failed. I don't give a fuck. I'm crazy in real fucking life. Asking people. Just a few people. See what they say. 'Cause I don't give a fuck. And when you crazy, you shouldn't give a fuck. When you crazy, I don't give a fuck. Crazy. Fuck is you saying? So we gonna walk through the mart. And we gonna do this shit. All fucking day. 'Cause I don't give a fuck. He like, what the fuck is you yelling for? OG on my heels, so I don't get no fuck, 'cause I'm a real nigga. When you crazy, why should you give a fuck? You shouldn't. Fuck is you saying? I'm a real nigga. When you crazy, why should you give a fuck? You shouldn't. You shouldn't. Fuck is you saying? We real niggas. Fuck is you saying? If I get famous off this, I'm gonna give y'all some money. I'm gonna give y'all $50 a piece. That's more than you get paid every week. You can't be mad. That's 50. You feel me? Because when you crazy, you shouldn't get no fuck.